by the right of the council, by the will of the Force, welcome back into another episode of the galaxy-famous, Halcyon-approved Jedi Talk Podcast. I am one of your co-hosts, two-thirds of the high-end regular council here tonight. I am one of your co-hosts, Tom Okery. You are following us at Jedi Talk Podcast on Instagram, Jedi Talk Podcast on Facebook, and youtube.com/Jedi Talk for all the fun. We like to put some stuff out there, like recently, how many hours I've played Jedi Survivor. 69. Nice. And that man over there, you hear complimenting me on the phone tonight, because I'll get to that in a second, but want to introduce, he's normally called the man, the myth, the legend, Evan T. Boucher. Evan, how the hell are you?
Adiga and good journey. Still getting used to the new intro, but I'm liking it the more we go, but
we'll get
doing
there.
Okay, man. Things are good. We took a little bit of a break because not much was happening in the world of Star Wars, but a lot's been happening in our worlds. All good things for most of us, anyhow. Things are okay.
That's right.
I'm not going to get into it, but things are good.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, things are good. And obviously, we don't have Brad tonight, so I'll play his intro just in memoriam of him not being here tonight real quick.
Exactly.
Achilles' last stand. No, he's out visiting.
He'll be back.
Yeah, he'll be back. I'll be back. He's out visiting with some fam. And that's why Evan and I are doing the Skype thing tonight, right? It's kind of it feels like a fourth Motherbox episode, Evan, except you're not stupid. So we're here on Jedi Talk.
I don't know. I'm pretty bad with tech, but I made this happen, so I guess I'm getting better.
Hey, that's like a step above Kyle. He can barely handle Skype. I'm shocked that we're 2 videos deep already on the YouTubes. So
yeah, I've seen some brief snippets.
Yeah,
and the content of the snippets might not be so great, where he's been insulting and saying that he's glad the Halcyon is closed. We won't get into that for now.
Ooh, Evan, would you like to address that? You haven't had a chance to address that on air yet, and Kyle's over there spouting his mouth.
That is true. I am super far behind in actually listening to the full episodes of your shows. Not because they're not good.
Yes,
but it's just
there's a lot going on. Yeah,
going on.
Yeah,
but I did catch that little snippet there, and you know what? I'm gonna do what the Saja always tell us to do, and kind of take the high road and just say that I'm still very disappointed that it's not going to be open for Kyle to do, because even though he's a little misguided and he's throwing out that shade there,
he's a lot of things.
Still upset that he'll never get to see it.
I'm with you. Yeah, I'm kind of upset for that. But you know what? Here on Jedi Talk, we are talking about the future and the positive, and I don't want to spend too much time on the Halcyon. So just wanted to give Evan a chance there to address that. And I like the path he took with our Sajas. So, hey, let's just jump right into this news, Evan.
Let's do it. It's all in good fun. We love you, Kyle.
It is all in good fun, obviously. Star Wars Outlaws came out of nowhere. Like, wow.
Yeah,
now, let's just start there, coming out of nowhere, Evan. So, now, and Brad asked this question in our group text when this dropped, and we shared it. We're like, holy shit, guys, look at this. Like, and we're talking about the trailer that was like 3 or 4 days ago, earlier this week, or over the weekend. I'm off this week because family's in for me, too, so I am thrown off right now what day of the week it is. It's Tuesday, right?
Yeah, it is Tuesday.
All right. So, Brad posed the question in our chat. And he's like, was this on y'all's radar? And it's like, it kind of wasn't, but then I have the memory of an elephant. I eat like one, and I have the memory of an elephant. And I thought back, and I was like, I remember Jedi Talk spending a little bit of time, the tiniest bit of time. Evan, I don't know if you remember this. We talked about like rumors, and I think, is it Ubisoft or Ubisoft? I don't know how to say.
I don't know. I think either way is fine.
Yeah.
I don't remember this at all.
No?
So
okay.
Your memory is much better than mine.
I mean, we briefly talked about it, and then I remember there was like mod footage of like somebody did an open world game with like the Mandalorian, and it was just it was like at home stuff, and that was around the same time. That's how I'm remembering this. I don't remember details of the rumor, but I remember like somebody saying, "Oh, that rumor of that open world game. How cool would it be if it was this?" But it's not that. It's not the Mandalorian. So we got a proper trailer for Star Wars Outlaws, which is due out 2024. Man, and it's like I'm not even done with Survivor yet fully, and they're already starting to tease us with this, and I'm pleasantly surprised with the news, Evan. I don't know how you feel after seeing this.
Oh yeah, of course I am. Me too. I mean, Ubisoft or however you say it, they're known for Assassin's Creed, of course.
Oh yeah.
I've played one Assassin's Creed and I love it. I still play it to this day. It's the Pirates of the Caribbean one. I don't even know the name of it, but that's the one that it's basically just Pirates of the Caribbean. So yeah, I am very excited because I liked their work for that one game I played, but I watched the trailer, of course, and dang, holy cow! My only minor complaint is just it's in the same timeline or a part of the timeline that we keep getting, just this Imperial era. But
you know why they did the Imperial era, right? It's because they want that, they don't want to. I think they went the safe route, and they're fearful to make a game in the sequel trilogy or even in the prequel era, right?
Yeah, that's fair.
Fearful
that's fair. It's the safe route in terms of money. People are going to buy it because everyone loves the Imperial era.
Yeah, but I want to explore the sequel trilogy era.
I do too.
Bridge the fucking gap with a video game. How cool would that be? Because look at
that would be.
Look at Survivor and Fallen Order. They took an overdone part of Star Wars with the Clone Wars in that era, right? That's overdone. We've all right, Lucasfilm, we've seen enough. But they took a point in time with that and made it really freaking interesting again, right?
Yeah. And they've been doing that a lot recently, so I'll give them that in terms of games and shows. Bad Batch has done great. And we're not going deep into it, but most people love Andor, and I'm excited for Season 2. Andor's in that same part of the timeline.
It is.
So they've been really, really going deep and making that part of the timeline interesting somehow. So they're doing a great job at it. And this one is looking like it's taking place after all of those things, after A New Hope. So it's kind of close to that same time, part of the timeline.
So so let's just jump right into it there. So and this was a criticism I saw from people right off the bat, that you're not a Force wielder or a Jedi. And then my first criticism back to those idiots, I'm like, have you not been playing Fallen Order and Survivor the past 4 years?
Right.
It's literally the same thing. This would be so boring if we did not get a scoundrel type of character to play, as we are getting.
Yeah, it's nice to have something like that that's different for once. Battlefront, the tiny storyline it has wasn't Force wielders, but it was Imperial defectors. So it was blasters and flying ships and war kind of fighting. And now it's, Jedi survivors, obviously a Jedi. So now it's nice to have a scoundrel point of view, people always talk about, and Disney's made it hugely popular, that the three factions of Star Wars. There's the Rebels / Resistance, the Empire / First Order, and then the Smuggler / Scoundrel. So it's nice to get that middle one now, the Smuggler / Scoundrel.
So I'm on the official Star Wars Outlaws Wikipedia right now, Evan. And Wikipedia is never 100% true, but it's most of the time it's pretty good. And this game is new, but this game will be set in the Star Wars universe during the period between, and I'm just confirming what you said, The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. Now that
that gap actually never gets explored.
Exactly. Now I'm okay.
I didn't know that.
Here we go.
So that makes it even better.
This is very exciting.
Because what is that, a 2 or 3 year gap?
Yeah, because that's Luke is recovering, and oh my god, can you imagine getting to run into Luke during this time?
Well, we see in the trailer the Han and Carbonite, so
they there were at the end of the gameplay, which we're going to talk about. They teased some other locations. Did you notice Kijimi? She was
Kijimi was definitely one.
Yeah,
another one looked like Canto Bight.
Oh man, I know. I think Tatooine was one of them too. I was watching Star Wars Explained earlier today.
That's a given.
Yeah, I know, but still, man, that's going to be great. So let's see.
But I like that. Instead of just throwing a billion new random planets that we've never heard of, it's connecting in ones that already exist. Kijimi and Canto Bight.
See,
we need more of that.
Yeah, and I completely agree with you. And this is something that Star Wars Explained said. Well, I love most of everything that he does, and I absolutely adore the every May the 4th timeline breakdown. Sometimes when I'm just kind of in a funk or even just wanting a refresher on Star Wars material, I just watch that, and it's so good. But I actually have to disagree with something he said. He's like, he wants to explore more new planets and new universes and areas of the Star Wars universe that we haven't seen yet. And I'm like, no, I want the planets I know. I want to explore them. Like, this is an open world Star Wars game. I'd love nothing more than just walk around Hoth for fucking hours on end, or just walk around Coruscant. Even though we could do Coruscant and Survivor to an extent, but like more of Coruscant, right? Like get on the speeder bike, get in the traffic, and just like GTA that shit.
Yeah, like that's some of the best parts of Bad Batch and Andor was all the Coruscant stuff. So like everyone loves that stuff. Give us more Coruscant. Give us more planets that we know a lot about, because you can never know too much. Like even freaking, why am I forgetting what it's called now all of a sudden? Jeddah. Jeddah's involved in Survivor.
Yep.
Like that was a sick tie-in.
Absolutely. I'm going to read something real quick. Looks like a quote. Nikki Foy is a lead writer, and Navid Kavari is a narrative director. Garrity, I'm trying to find out who Garrity is. Where do they introduce this person in this article? I did shitty preparing. Garrity said that the time period between Empire and Return was selected because his colleagues are all huge fans of the original trilogy. I think this is part of the developers or the creators of the game. He said that the setting created an ideal environment for an established or rookie scoundrel to cut their teeth, as it created a moment where the Rebel Alliance are not part of the picture. The Galactic Empire is taking more and more control, and the criminal syndicates are taking more power. Yeah, speaking of syndicates, in that gameplay trailer, we mow down and punch a couple of pikes. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. And I like that too. That's tying into the Clone Wars and the Book of Boba Fett. Like the pikes are becoming more and more of a thing. Absolutely. So we might even get a little Kira, maybe. Like, can you imagine if she pops in?
Man, I mean, that would be pretty intense. I mean,
because that's taken place exactly during her comic run, where she's trying to steal back the Han and Carbonite.
That's right.
And she does steal it.
That's right. I mean, we're obviously going to run into Boba Fett, right?
I would imagine so. Yeah, if they're showing him hauling Han and Carbonite, and then. Like the Kira comics, Kira even brings in the Knights of Ren. Yeah. So what if the Knights of Ren make an appearance? Like anything
is
possible.
Peak here, yeah. Is that his peak?
I'm not going to hate it if they don't show up. I'm just speculating responsibly, saying they could show up.
Yeah, I'm looking to see, trying to get the name of the character that we play, or that you're going to play as. I don't even
K Vess, K something. I don't remember.
K something.
But she's got a freaking assassin droid wearing a trench coat. That's her sidekick.
That's so cool. Yeah, you were right. Really cool. It is K-Vess. Yeah, that like, and then she's got like the little oh man, what's the name of that species? That's like her dog or cat.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never seen that species before. It's cute though. It's gonna sell a lot of plush.
Yep. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, her name is K-Vess. Young human who fought to make her life herself, is a cunning thief in the Imperial era journey. Yeah. Anyway, so we saw a lot in that trailer, and then even a lot in the gameplay. So I've watched that gameplay trailer like twice already. And
me too.
And some of the best things that stood out to me, Evan, were a few. So like you start, and you're kind of like escaping the Pike Syndicate. So the first thing that jumps out to me, and I don't know if our fans or our listeners out there, if you are a big fan of like the Metal Gear Solid franchise video games, reach out to us at Jedi Talk Podcast and talk to me, Tom specifically. That's my favorite franchise, and the first bit of this gameplay reminded me of it, because you were sneaking, you're like sneaking behind the Pikes and taking them out one by one without getting caught. And this looked like
that's the Assassin's Creed influence for sure.
Yeah. So it's like the espionage game. So we're getting a Star Wars espionage type of game where if you get caught, then you got to blast your way out, but you can avoid all that if you want to. Like, I love that shit. And it's open world. Man, this game is shaping up to be incredible.
Work with your little pet companion. She told it to go push a button, so it ran over and pushed a button. Like,
that's so cool. I can't wait to press X to send that thing to tear a Pike's face into shreds.
Right.
It's like,
rip his face off.
Yeah, rip his face off. So then you're like sneaking around, and then Kay gets caught. But then I don't know if you noticed in the gameplay, and this is a little bit after you blast your way out, and it looks like the blaster overheats too. So you have to watch that. And I noticed that you can pick up enemies' guns. I don't know if you caught that. And she picked one of them, the Pike's guns up. I think it was a Pike still, and just mowed down a bunch of people. It was kind of like a Gatling gun, and then blew up like the red barrel, but it was it was like a similar. It was is it radium? Radium?
Rhydonium.
Rhydonium. It blew up exactly like the. I think it was either Clone Wars or Rebels, whatever we saw it blow up in with like the colors and stuff. It's like, damn, they were paying attention.
That's a different one. Rhydonium is from Mando.
Okay.
And then obviously Coaxium is Solo and other things, but came out in Solo. And there's another one from Rebels. I forget what that one's called.
Yeah, okay, but it's the one that blows up and it's all colorful. They like I knew that was right in canon. Yeah. So it was cool.
Yeah.
So then,
speaking of which, it's not connected, but I didn't talk about it when we talked about Little Mermaid a couple episodes ago.
Yeah.
Did you notice when King Triton blasts things that it's the Coaxium explosion effect from Solo?
No, I didn't notice that.
It's the exact same effect, so that's cool that they've applied that in a different franchise.
That is cool.
Because in Solo, it was a practical effect. It was like an explosion in like a water vase or water like thing.
Oh, wow.
So like that. So they filmed just the explosion itself and then put it over the Coaxium exploding. But when you put it in Little Mermaid, it fits perfectly because it's an explosion in water.
That's
so
cool.
It looks great.
Look at that. Today I learned. That's awesome. So then she gets caught and she's running away, and then I think she has like I think we get on a speeder bike and you fly away from the or not fly, you drive away from the pikes and you're fighting them and you're trying to get out of the way, and then if you notice there was like a reputation meter or something that says like the reputation with the pikes, and there was like an arrow pointing down, so it's like, oh man, you have reputations with different syndicates and different people. So it's like
that's kind of like Red Dead Redemption, kind of like your wanted level, but also like how you're trusted and all that kind of stuff.
So it's like you can do other missions for the pikes and like do it well, or sneak around and not get caught.
Yeah, like when she's escaping on the speeder, she even like calls her contact, and he's like, "How's your alliance with the pikes or something after this?" And she's like, "Oh, let's just say I won't be doing any deals with them for a while." So, like, you probably can reconnect and build up trust, but it might take some time.
Most likely, yeah.
If you sneak out of there and they don't know it's you, maybe you still have a good connection and they still trust you and you can still do deals with them. So if you're successful in being sneaky, it can have a big payoff.
Yes. She ends up driving into, I think it was called Wanta's Hope or Wanata's Hope or something like that. Wanta's Hope. It's like an outpost, and it reminded me of Rambler's Reach, like immediately in Survivor on Kobo.
Yeah, it looked a lot like Kobo and like
it did.
Grease's kind of bar and cantina.
And that's fine because I don't want to see anything else yet. Because I know there's going to be more in this game, so that's show me what looks familiar, and you
can only do so much with a cantina. Like Oga's looks just like the one on Tatooine owned by Shaolin, and they all kind of look alike, so it's not like a knock on it.
I've heard a lot of people saying that, like as they walk into Oga's, they think it's that cantina from A New Hope.
Yeah, like most people, like I've only seen the movies a handful of times, and they love the originals. They don't know the difference.
Right. So, what's really enticing about this game, especially going into these outposts, is like there's going to be this shit on other planets, and how many planets are we going to get to travel to? Excuse me. Man, it's just there's just so many possibilities in an open Star Wars game, and then they even showed us, which I think was the highlight of the gameplay, is that she gets in the ship. Oh my god! And I heard the name of her ship. Oh fuck.
I forgot the name too. Yeah.
Trailblazer. I think it was a Trailblazer.
That's a good. I like that. Good name.
I think. Don't quote me. I think it was the Trailblazer. So
before all that, though, she like links up with like the bar owner, and it's like Mon Calamari. So that's cool, and she's like super shady. She kind of reminded me of Sid a little bit.
Oh, that's right. This is the bribe or no bribe. Yeah, talk about that.
Yeah, this is another option you can make where it's like the Empire's right there, and you can tell Kay was like trying not to talk to her at all. She's like, "All right, bye, my deal's done." And the officer was like, "No, like who are you, or whatever." And then Kay had the option to give some of her score to the Empire to bribe them, or to take it all and risk having a bounty on her head.
Yep.
So in the gameplay, she doesn't bribe them, and it was just like in Mandalorian Season 1. like when she was walking out of the bar, when all the wanted posters popped up and everyone was like looking at her.
Yeah.
It was just like that when Din rescues Grogu in season 1, where everyone gets alerts, on their data pad. That's like, hey, track down this guy.
Yeah. Oh my God. And that was that gave me very GTA vibes too, with like the wanted. Like, oh shit, you're in trouble. Here they come.
That kind of like scared the hell out of me though. It's like, oh, I guess I'm probably gonna bribe the Empire because that looks way too much anxiety inducing and way too stressful for me.
You pans, you would. For the Order.
That too. I would also help the Empire, but like that looked like it was like I don't want to spend the next 2 hours of this game running.
Well, what's fun is like
I'm not good at video games, so that would happen to me.
Play them on story mode. Like if you just got Survivor because you said it yourself in a text, like you're gonna have to shell out for one of these systems.
Yeah, now I'm gonna buy another one.
Yeah.
So I can play Survivor and Outlaws, and we'll briefly talk about it later. But the Avatar game.
Oh yeah, yeah. We'll get there in a second. So then after what I can't wait to do with these open world games is like if I select not to bribe, then I'm going to go back and replay it when I'm done and select bribe. I want to see the outcome, of that stuff.
Right? Yeah. There's multiple options and multiple endings for all these scenarios.
There's actually a few things in Survivor. It doesn't really change the story, but when I go back and play my new story after I do like 100% complete the game and get as much as I can. When you're Jedi mind tricking individuals, there are certain options of like dialogue to tell them. So I'm just going to pick the other one when I do that.
And they're really good about that because like these games and these stories, Outlaws now and Jedi Fallen Order and Survivor are canonical stories. So like you can't change that ending of the story, but you can change how you get to that ending. Mm-hmm. They're really good at that now because like in these three, I guess, video games. And even on the Star Cruiser, it's the same idea where you can have weird, wildly different conversations and different outcomes, but at the end of the story, it's still Rey versus Kylo holocron. And then at the end of Jedi Fallen Order and Survivor, it's the same ending, but it's how you get to that ending that's different. And they're getting really good at that.
They are. Speaking of the ending on Survivor, after you finish the main game and you're like going around the galaxy still to the planets that you can travel to, when you go back to where you fight Dagan Gera, like there was a lot of questions after the Bode thing happened, after he turns and you fight him and he has a lightsaber and he's force sensitive. One of the questions are kind of like, how did Bode get a lightsaber? How was he able to hide one such plain sight, right? Because he just kind of willfully took one out behind his back when he revealed himself to Cal. But then after the game, after you beat the main story and Bode's dead and you're traveling around, you find a sense echo where you've defeated Dagan Gera, and the sense echo is Bode Akuna. You actually find a bunch of sense echoes after the game's over of Bode and him plotting to take Cal down, but you find one of Bode taking Dagan Gera's lightsaber from his body.
Oh, nice.
And then
so you can't find that during the game,
nope,
because then it would give away the ending.
Exactly, because it's but like during the game after you kill Dagan, like Bode says he's going to stay behind to grab data discs or something. But
jeez.
Yeah, so he lied to Cal just so he can grab Dagan's lightsaber, which is the details are magnificent. So, but anyway, back to Outlaws. So you are wanted, but then you get in your ship and then you travel out the planet, but you're not safe because you're wanted, and then you're getting into a dogfight with some TIE fighters, Evan.
Yeah.
That's wild. Like it's not quite like as good as Squadrons, from what I've seen yet, but I've also heard that this Kay's a young pilot, so you're probably going to like build your skills up similar to like Fallen Order.
And Squadrons was built solely for flying. Like that was the whole point of the game. Mm-hmm. I'm sure flying is going to be like the 5th most important thing, maybe in this game.
Yeah, but it was so cool to just hyperspace out of there and then dodge and you'd run to another.
And you
planet.
had to give it time to like coordinate and calculate a route too.
Yes.
Which is awesome because they've been another thing that recent Star Wars is really good at is like going into how hyperspace works and like how there's hyperspace lanes and hyperspace tracking is big in The Last Jedi, and it's in the High Republic too. They're really going into hyperspace lanes and the Great Disaster and all that stuff. So they're really getting good at like making hyperspace make a lot more sense.
Did I tell you, speaking of the Great Disaster, did I tell you that the Shattered Moon in Survivor, when you go visit it, there's like a couple of droids that are just hung around, and when you talk to one of them, And like Cal asks, "What happened to the moon?" And they mention the Great Disaster as what happened to their moon particularly.
Oh, nice. I don't think you told me that. I might have saw that from Star Wars Explained, but I've seen that. But that's cool. I love that kind of stuff.
So good, yeah. Highly recommend if you're not into the High Republic, or at least check it out a little bit if you're into this game. So, anything more to say about Outlaws? I'm ready for it to come now, man.
Yeah, man, it looks really great. Like my only complaint, like I said, was the point in the timeline. But now that I've heard it's in a little further point between 5 and 6, it makes me like it even more.
Yeah.
But I've seen other people complain saying that like, oh, there's no character customization and stuff. Like, we don't know that for a fact. There could be. But also, like, even if there's not, it's not a deal breaker to me. If the story's awesome, then it's awesome.
If there's going to be character customization, then in a canon game, it's going to be like Survivor, where you can change the hairstyle and change the outfits and all that stuff.
Exactly.
Because Kay Vess is a canon character, and I get that you want the character to look like yourself, but if you wanted to live your Star Wars story, you had the chance to, idiots, but you let it fail. Oh.
Yeah,
that came out. That came out.
Exactly.
That came out ugly. What are your last thoughts on Outlaws? Anything more, Evan? Because I'm done.
I don't know.
I'm just excited.
The more I think about it, the more I'm excited for it, especially talking now. Like we mentioned Kajimi and possibly Canto Bight and all the comic and character tie-ins that there could be, but it doesn't have to be. But I feel like you said, there's got to be Boba Fett. So there's got to be probably Tatooine somewhere also, but that's not a deal breaker either.
No,
like you can throw Tatooine in there, especially if you get that win to Jimmy and others. So that's nice. And I don't know, like I don't expect or want to see like a Vader pop in because I don't think it would fit. But also like Vader's popped in enough. He's done perfect, I think, in the Jedi series. So like leave Vader as he is, but you can have the Pikes be the main villain. And if you're gonna have whoever's running the Pikes in Crimson Dawn at that time, it would be Kira. But you might not have a main villain because if you're dealing with multiple crime syndicates, you know, like Shizor might pop up if he's still alive. I can't remember if he's alive at this point because he's super niche. But
no idea.
I wouldn't be surprised if someone as weird as him pops in because they don't care anymore in a good way. They're like, we'll bring in anybody.
Star Wars Explained said a character from Aftermath, and I haven't read it, is in this game. Akita?
Oh, dang.
Akita?
I've only read the first Aftermath and stopped because it was terrible. So
the
only good stuff has been
sound
like the Cobb Vanth stuff. So we've seen the good stuff.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. So we'll talk about it more and speculate more. Let us know in the comments below if you're listening on YouTube to the audio only or on the podcast at Jedi Tuck Podcast on Instagram. Let us know how hyped you are about Outlaws. But Evan, to just move it along a little bit, man, Disney just kind of silently again pushing. Well, not silently. They just kind of came out and said, "Yeah, here are a bunch of movie dates, and we've moved a few. So, you mind if I go over them real quick?"
Please do, because I didn't see any of them.
Okay,
so
I'm going to go over the full list, and I'm reading this off. Thank you to our dear Dr. Disney on Facebook for breaking this out. This is what I'm reading off of. So, first and foremost, Captain America: Brave New World, which I've seen photos dropping of that of Harrison Ford talking to Anthony Mackie. Previously dated on May 3rd, 24, moves to the release date of July 26, 2024. So
that's good because we don't need a Marvel movie coming out on May 3rd. That's like basically May 4th. So thank you.
A good way to put it. Thunderbolts, previously dated July 26, 24, moves to 12/20/24. There's an Alien event, untitled Alien event movie dated August 16th, 24. Oh God, Kyle's not going to like this. Blade, previously dated on September 6th of 2024, moves to February 14th, 2025. Blade's just never going to come out. The Deadpool movie, which is untitled, previously dated on November 8th, 24, moves up to May 3rd, 2024.
Thanks. So there still is a Marvel movie coming out on May 3rd, but
it's Deadpool. You like Deadpool. You're okay with that.
Yeah, I'll watch it when it comes on Disney Plus.
Really? All right.
Yeah, that one I will watch, but I'm not paying.
The Amateur, 20th Century Fox, now dated November 8th, 24. Avatar 3, previously dated December 20th, 2024, moves to December 19th, 2025. Yikes.
Oh, so they're still going to keep that probably alternating Decembers with Star Wars then.
Oh, if they did
that was their
yeah.
original plan.
Yeah, that's true.
To do Avatar 1 December, next December Star Wars, next December Avatar, so on and so forth.
Well, Evan, I've got bad news about May 4th timeline around 2025 because Fantastic Four has moved to May 2nd, 2025 from February of 2025.
Dang, they just liked giving away Star Wars month.
Some untitled Disney movie got moved up a month in 2025. Who the hell knows?
Probably the Tangled remake at this point. A live-action Tangled.
It's Bambi remake. Avengers Kang Dynasty, previously dated on May 2nd, 25, moves to May 1st, 26. Well, yeah, because Jonathan Majors might have to be recast. The live-action Moana, previously dated July 2nd, 25. Hey, Jack. Moves to June 27th.
You can hear him.
Yeah, it's cute. Oh, Moana moved up to June 27th, just by a few days, 2025, all right? An untitled Disney film has now an updated title of Untitled Marvel, releasing July 25th of 2025.
Yeah, it's weird.
Who gives a shit about the untitled ones? I don't care. Okay, except this one. Untitled Star Wars, previously dated on December 19th, 2025, moves to May 22nd, 2026. I mean, May 4th was staring at you right in the fucking faces, but whatever.
Thanks. We got 2026. We got 3 years.
We've got a little less than 3 years.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
I mean,
and until then, we just have a video game and a few Disney Plus series to hold us over.
We got a couple video games, some great video games to hold us over.
True. Like I didn't mean it. That came off in a bad way. But I'm saying like it's a long time with no movie, but there are things in between.
You're right. Yeah, Ahsoka, Skeleton Crew, Mando 4. Yeah, we got some stuff to build up to that. Avengers: Secret Wars. Previously May 1st, 26th, pushed out a whole year, May 7th, 27. Wow. Okay, Untitled Star Wars movie is now dated December 18th of 2026. So we're going to get a May Star Wars movie and a December Star Wars movie in 2026.
Did they not learn from Solo? Like that's the exact same thing that happened with Solo, wasn't it?
Somewhat. Solo was in May, but was that the same year of like Last Jedi?
The Last Jedi was in December, so it's kind of flipped.
Yeah, I don't think this one's going to suffer because we're going to get our first Star Wars movie in a long time in May of that year, and then it's going to be like a holiday movie later that year, which is going to do well. So I think it'll be fine, unless it's just a terrible movie. And I have the final two, Evan. I have Avatar 4 and Avatar 5 dates. Avatar 4 has been moved to December 21st, 2029, and Avatar 5 has been moved to December 19th, 2031, if the Great Reset doesn't take us out by then.
Jeez.
And that's that. Wow. Lots of movie dates. But we got some Star Wars news on movies, so hopefully Daisy Ridley's getting in old Ray shape. And they start filming soon, because if it's less than 3 years, man, then they're going to start some pre-production on that soon, you'd think.
I mean, 100%. That means they got to be writing it right now, right?
I don't think anybody's writing anything right now.
Well, as soon as the writer strike is over, they're going to start writing it.
Right. I think you're right. You're right about the writers. Oh, dad jokes coming hot and heavy already. So
you're prepared.
Yeah, I'm prepared. One more quick hit. One of those things that are tiding us over until the Star Wars movies is Ahsoka, our next live-action content from Star Wars, and we have an official release date. Speaking of me becoming a dad, is releasing on August 23rd of this year. That's like 69 days away, exactly. Actually, no, 70 days away.
Oh, boo!
Yeah.
So close.
69 days until my daughter is due. So yeah, there we go. We have it there. But how cool would it be if my daughter's born on the day Ahsoka releases? That'd be pretty epic, actually.
It would be, but then it's going to make it hard for you to watch it. So it's like I
don't care. That's Ahsoka will be there. Your kid's only born like once, so.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. I'll catch up. Y'all can have the the episode, and I'll share my thoughts eventually.
We'll get Brad's post at 3 a.m. in the garage, being like, "Oh my gosh, Ahsoka! No spoilers, but when they did the thing,
Yeah.
it was the best."
It's exactly right. He'll be sweating profusely in August in the garage at 3 a.m.
I was just over
somehow.
at the garage like an hour or two ago, and I was dying, man. That was hot as hell over there.
It's hot out there. It is hot.
Yep.
Stay hydrated. Speaking about staying hot and staying hydrated, when you're spending days on Batu out in the summer like this, so Evan's mentioned the potential in the past, Evan, and I don't want to steal your thunder here, but and you made a post about it, about kind of the extension of our characters from the Halcyon onto Batu and your thoughts behind it. So the floor is yours. You want to kind of talk about your idea and get it out to the masses?
Yeah, that's another thing. Like, there's infinite reasons why it sucks that it's closing, and we're not here to talk about that right now. But one of them is just like, it kind of sucks that, like, not literally dying, but like your character is kind of dying at this point if you can't be them on the Halcyon, I guess. But like, not, like I said, literally dying in a sense of in universe someone kills your character or whatever. But like, you lose the opportunity to be that character. Because you can't really show up to Batu by yourself and pretend to be a character dressed up and stuff. It doesn't really have the same effect. Like, it's possible, but just not the same. But I would like a way for this amazing Star Cruiser community. The online community is incredible around this, where there's like, I'm in like 5 different Facebook groups that are like, one's about the costuming, one's about like the post-cruise like depression that you have, another one's like Sweet Mate Finder, if you're trying to get on a cruise and you just want to share a bunk with somebody, like, and a few others. So like, the online community is incredible, and the May the 4th cruise this past year, sadly we weren't a part of, but it looked incredible. And that community, we've talked to some of them online and over the podcast, like Heroes of the Halcyon, but they're all insanely creative, and they make things. They got 3D printers, they make their own costumes, they make their own, you name it, they make it and sell it, even some of them. But I'm trying to figure out a way we could get this community to kind of come together in the way that lightsaber meetups and droid meetups have always been in Galaxy's Edge. I haven't been to a droid meetup myself because, at least until recently, my droid has just been standard run-of-the-mill straight from the droid depot. But I have been painting him, so more on him to come later. But to take that idea of a droid meetup or a lightsaber meetup, where just a bunch of fans show up and get together and kind of just be nerds about whatever we love, lightsabers or droids or whatever. To take that and go like the next step further, where it's like, it doesn't have to be only people that did the Star Cruiser. It could be people that wanted to and never could, or friends of people. It can build and build, of course. We're not going to turn people away. But it could just be the Star Cruiser community doing a announced date meetup that's coordinated by a Facebook group or a Discord server or whatever, where everyone can come in character, in costume. If you want to, you still wouldn't have to. You could still just show up in a Star Cruiser t-shirt. But like, show up to Galaxy's Edge, and I've talked with people, and this could be Disneyland or Walt Disney World, because there's fans all across the country, and some of them it'd be easier for them to do it in Disneyland. So by all means, I can't attend that one, but if people out there want to coordinate it, please do. But it could just be, we meet up and we lay down, like, here's some general story points, or this could even be laid down online beforehand, but like, here's a general story. It's going to be, go meet this character. Let's just say it's Avant. It's my character. Go meet Avant by the TIE Echelon, and he'll tell you what he wants you to do for him, and then you can get some credits for him. And then it could be meet up with, I don't know, one of Tom's characters. Meet up with Lias Orion over at Docking Bay 7 and help him steal some coaxium. Then he'll tell you the next steps to join the cause or whatever. You know, just build and build on that, where we all are our own characters, and we're kind of pushing forward a story-driven meetup, where it's like, you can tie it into the rides too. Be like, hey, I need you to go infiltrate the Resistance camp and tell me what you find, or vice versa. It could be your character's a Resistance member, and it's like, okay, go over to the TIE Echelon, try to meet up with Vi Marati and get some information, and come back and report to the Resistance base. Something along those lines. You can build and make deeper stories as you go.
Go get a hollow scan with Ray or something. I don't know. You know.
Even that is and like I said, it doesn't even have to be a story, or you don't have to come dressed up. If you just want to come and show off some cool pictures that you took and reminisce, be like, hey, remember the time with Wraith that we did this? And I'm sure the performers, well, at this point, former performers, let's clarify that again. But I'm sure some of them might even show up, and obviously they wouldn't be their character, because that wouldn't be allowed, and we wouldn't want them to.
Well, the character's dead. Screw it.
I'm sure they might even show up just to like catch up with with us, or because we're friends with a lot of them. We talk to them a lot. Like,
except for Gary.
I'm
Gary the
Stormtrooper
does not like me.
We're all friends, the performers and all these guests and passengers. So they might even show up and just hang out. So it's just something I want to do to keep this community alive and this fandom alive. And on a personal level, my creativity and character alive.
I love it. I absolutely love it. I think it's needed. I think it's a perfect time to kick off something like that, and I'll right there with you. Whatever you need, help with anything, I'd more than happy to help kick this off the ground. Jedi Talk, to get that out there for you. So I'm excited to hear more about it in the future.
And
we want to hear more.
There's already some rumblings going on about the very last Batuu excursion. People like us that aren't booked on a cruise.
Oh, really?
Showing the Batuu that day and just like giving everyone a big send off that day.
Oh, I like that.
I'm gonna try to get that day off and go to that final Batuu excursion.
What's that, the 29th?
September 29th.
Okay.
I think.
Okay.
And maybe we can even use that as like a Kickstarter of like, hey guys, let's see how this worked.
That's awesome.
What if we all do this once a year on maybe March 1st, because that's a day that the Halcyon opened, just to kind of keep that date alive too. Like March 1st every year, we're gonna come and have our story-driven Star Cruiser meetup.
Halcyon Day or something. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, Halcyon Day. I've heard someone that I was talking to called it a Halcyon Con, like a convention. Halcyon Con.
Halcyon.
Yeah, like I kind of like that. Like that can be workshopped
Star
around,
Connor.
but
StarCon. No, because like StarCon, Star Cruiser Con sounds better, but
yeah,
whatever.
There's something in there.
There is.
Like I said, I'm not smart enough to fully set all this up. I don't
figure
think,
it out.
and I'm not even smart enough to name it. But I'm going to try to get it started, and with all the help from the community that we're definitely going to need. But it's going to definitely happen.
Absolutely, I can't wait to do more of that. Let's talk more about that date when they're down there on Batuu, as long as everything's okay. And I can make it over there. I'd love to stop and say hey. So. And give it a good
and it could just
off.
be for the sake of like obviously people getting off work and stuff, locals, but also like temperature safety wise. It could just be like from maybe like 5 o'clock till park close, so you can still get some nighttime activity where it's not 105 degrees. And
all the
characters except Kylo and the First Order Lieutenant are out at night. Those two characters end at like 5 or 6. So if you start at like 5, you can still get Kylo and the Lieutenant involved at the beginning, and then they'll leave at like 5 or 6 or whenever they leave, and then you have the rest of the night to be under some better weather, but also the rest of the characters are still out and about, so you can still get them involved. And I don't mean like literally rope them into doing missions with you, but like you could still go say, hey Chewie, like I'm on a mission, what do you think if I go over here? What's a good place to hide over here? And then Chewie could like point in a direction and tell you where to go, and that carry on your story.
Yeah, one thing that I'd want to caution people against too, and like you can get some people that go over the line. It's like, let's not steal the thunder away from these characters too on Batuu. Like if there's going to be something with the Halcyon, and I don't know if you were going down this road, but like if there's people with troopers, let them be with troopers. Let them interact. Just assume this is the first time in 8 years that their family's been able to come down to Disney World, and they're seeing stormtroopers and Kylo Ren for the first time, right? Like, it's like one thing if like Kylo and the troopers are gonna come up to us if we're there doing like a Halcyon meetup, but it's like I just remember seeing like some cringe moments of people always trying to make the moment about themselves, like really taking it away from the performance, right?
Yeah, you name it. I've seen it on Batuu with characters.
Oh,
so
boy.
yeah, like nothing along the lines of that. Of course, it would just be like if you're going about your day and they're going about their day, and they approach you or you approach them normally. If
Right.
Ray's not talking to anybody, and you come up to Ray and speak to her, and then ask for a holo scan politely, that's fine.
Got it.
Just go about your day like normal. We're not there to literally take over Batu.
One of
It'll
my
just be just like the meetups.
One of my favorite character interactions now was our Halcyon Batu day between you and Vi Marati. God, she was giving it to you. I love that.
Yes, that was one of the. That's probably the best Resistance interaction I've had in Galaxy's Edge.
It was so good. She
That
was the best.
It was perfect timing. You two were coming off of the Falcon.
Yeah.
Taylor and I were meeting you in front of the Falcon. Ray, Vi, and Chewie just happened to be there, and we just started talking to Vi, and she was letting me know everything there was to know.
Yep. Oh, yeah. That she was. Isn't there some of that on your YouTube channel, Happily Evan After?
There is, sadly, not that specific interaction, but that was a good moment to just be in the moment.
That's true.
You know?
Gotta let that happen.
Live in the moment.
Tabuite indeed. Our final moment of today, we had a little bit of a rumor that we all agree. I could say, Evan, to that. Winston too. Yeah, that's right.
Wow, Winston is really
Yeah.
pumped about it.
Idris Elba.
Oh, Jackson heard him. Jackson is like, not this guy again.
Oh my God, what happened? Did he dart off?
No, he just whipped his head around and tossed his ears up.
Sorry, Jack. Sorry, buddy. I know he can't torture him anymore. But Idris Elba, supposedly a villain for the Jedi New Order movie that Daisy Ridley's coming back for. So that's a strong rumor that I am ready for. Let's do it.
That would be incredible.
He'd make a spectacular Star Wars villain.
I'm trying to think. The only thing I've seen him be a villain in was Jungle Book when he was Shere Khan. But he was great at that. But I could definitely see him being a great villain. So, I'm here for it.
Absolutely. Me too.
Trying to think what all I've even seen him in. I know I've seen him in stuff. I'm just going stupid here all of a sudden.
Well, he was not Deadshot. Bloodsport in the Suicide Squad, James Gunn's Suicide Squad. He's kind of he was a villain there, but he's like an anti-hero. He's Charles Minor in The Office. But he's very well equipped to play this villainous role in Star Wars, particularly for this.
The voice alone,
Yeah. I would love to see if he did something along the lines of a reemergence of the Nile. God.
Yeah, you've been talking about that as a great possibility for maybe a year or so now. You've been mentioning that for a while, and it would fit perfect, and he would fit that perfect.
Disney, you could just send me a check, or you know what? Just find me a room on the Halcyon, that I don't have to pay for, sometime preferably in July.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, all of Jedi Talk, and I'll promise I'll delete the Sammy file.
Nah, I still wouldn't.
They didn't see me wink at Evan.
Okay, that's true.
You got anything else? We're gonna wrap it up today. I know you've got a big night ahead of you. Are you grabbing that picture?
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm actually grabbing an awesome painting of our little man Jackson, and that's going to be the first thing that gets hung up in the new apartment. So
I can't wait. Can't wait to see that.
Yeah, looking forward to that. I'll post a picture of it on Instagram probably tonight, but it'll be up on the wall here in the next week because we're still at the old place for now. We started moving today, but we don't officially move in until next week, so we'll wait till then.
Okay, good. I like it. That would be like your first hanging. So, you heard Evan there. You guys have been great. We've been Jedi Talk. Follow us at Jedi Talk Podcast again out there on the Instagram if you're not already. Interact with us, for fuck's sake, guys. Come on. We get a lot of listens. Let's talk. Let's chat. We're NSFW over there. Oh, let's Jedi Talk. Look at that over there. Boom. Knocking it out of the park. So Brad's not here tonight, so I will just kick off saying goodbye and saying we'll see you next week. May the Force be with you.
Ways, and make sure you reach out to me. I think my Instagram is Evan T. Boucher. I don't know anymore because I'm not good at tech, but reach out to me with any ideas for this Star Cruiser meetup. Let's make it happen. If anyone can do it, it's going to be this great community. We'll make it happen together as one. So until next week, I guess, like you said, we'll all see you next week, but Tabuite, and I already said always. So yeah, Tabuite.
Rise, Jedi Knight.